Okay, it's 7:00, planning board meeting, April 15th, come to order. Advice received the previous meeting minutes. Any questions, comments on that? Pages? Nothing from me?
There was an auto,
Kathy, welcome.
what is probably an auto typo. One of those things. Oh, it was in the planner's report. Pam Antonellis gave a report on a new state legislature. I think it must be new state legislation.
Is gonna be a new legislator.
Make that typo. Kathy, any comments on the last meeting minutes? Okay, you think might be on mute. If there are questions or motion to approve as distributed with the correction,
Motion approved.
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor, approving minutes as distributed?
Aye.
Kathy?
You're muted.
All right. I like it that way. Let's leave it that way. A nod is fine. Anything up on the treasurer's report?
No.
Okay, the plans report.
So, the planner's report sent out today, I guess the only thing I'll add in addition to it is that the Telegram and Gazette aired in their advertising for one of our agenda items, the zoning amendments. They didn't post it until Saturday. They did get it in time, but they ignored it, I guess. Lauren fortunately caught that for us and noted that they didn't put it out in time. So you can have discussion about the zoning amendment tonight. But we'll re-advertise for that and have a formal public hearing on the 28th, in which time you can, as a board, take a vote or any action on that.
And what about the grant? You talked about a grant.
Oh, yeah, I can't announce it officially because the Housing and Livable Communities needs to do a press release, but I was victorious in my pursuit of a grant on your behalf. So we'll be getting into that future meetings. Hopefully they announce it soon so we can get to work on it.
And the zoning board have reported they have several, most of the setbacks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they have 5 applications in front of them, so they're picking up from all that time they had off earlier this year, where they had no applications for a 5-month stretch, which was amazing. Never witnessed that before, but picking right back up. Variance for setbacks for a proposed addition to a home, a special permit to have light manufacturing, quote unquote, out of 152 Milford Street, which is the old ChemDry building.
Make like panels into a wall panels. or
Yeah, it's a
something.
soundproofing company that's gonna come in. It should be, we'll wait to hear their presentation in front of the zoning board. It sounds like it'll be a good fit. Soundproofing, I would hope that the construction of the soundproofing would be fairly quiet as well, but I don't know.
If the product
They're
works.
they're the experts, so they can install it. So hopefully that would be a good addition to the town. Another variance for setbacks for, was that for gazebo, I think, a residential use of some kind. Some more dimensional relief for residential use. And then a special permit to exceed the ADU minimum criteria for floor area along Crockett Road.
Anything else from the board before we start the public hearing? Comments? Got any comments?
Nope. There are no ANRs today?
Nope.
7:05, let's suspend the regularly scheduled meeting and open up the public hearing for John O'Connor, which is off of East Street. Is there a name of the subdivision?
It's just Road A as of right now.
130 South Street.
It will have a name eventually, right? Not just going to call it Road A.
It's always a starting point.
But Barbara Burke's not around to name anymore. So.
All right, so do you have your plan and everything? You want to get started? And
I do. Screen share that's going to go up the plan over there for pitch purposes. My name's Jim Sullivan with Garrier and Helnon, the engineering firm in Milford. Representing a full lot subdivision today on behalf of the owner, John O'Connor, 130 South Street in Upton. And it's a full lot subdivision. A 50-foot wide right of way, a 6-foot wide pavement. Sidewalk on one side.
Excuse me, one suggestion. Tommy, did we announce that East Street Estates is asked to continue so nobody waits through this?
I should do that. Let me, anybody hear from East Street
East
Estates?
Street Estates, yeah.
Yes, they've asked for a continuance. Their engineer has been sick for a while, and I hope your patience is wearing his thin as mine, but it is going to be continued.
So I didn't want you to sit here for
I'm
2
going to sit in for this.
Okay.
All right, please continue.
Thank you. There's a sidewalk running up the left side of the subdivision on the plan. The homes will be served by wells and on-site septic systems, as the and depicts. Drainage is handled by an above-ground infiltration basin, which is the green rectangle on the left, as well as underground infiltration chambers down near the entrance of the proposed road. There's a fire cistern shown on the plans for fire protection in the blue, also shown on the plan. The road length that's shown on the plan is 710 feet. We are looking for relief on the regulation associated with 500-foot dead-end streets. The second plan is pretty similar to the first, with the exception of a little more grading being shown on the plan. The drainage, probably have to zoom in to see, but you can see some lines on there. The red is in the middle of the street is the drainage, catch basins, and the drain pipes, drain manholes. And again, that's an infiltration basin. The that's the drainage running to there, and then down the bottom, there's drainage running to the underground detention infiltration chambers. All of that is explained, and the math is shown in the stormwater report that has been provided to the town and with the peer reviewer. We did get peer review comments, I think, just last week from the reviewer, which we'll be reviewing. I don't have answers tonight on the peer review questions. We think
That's actually fine, because that's two things at the same time. This should really be on what you're proposed.
sure. Thank
We'll
you.
have all of the engineering, because the neighbors will have comments that we'll need to incorporate into what, so we got stuff. So this is the presentation.
Sure. Thank you much. And again, the overview of the site, I don't think there's any more to describe other than that on the two plans. Again, it's a full lot subdivision, and the table on one of the pages not shown here, but shows the buildable area and those sorts of things complying with the regulations. Other than that, I don't really have much more to explain on the presentation or the proposal tonight.
Any questions from the board?
My questions come when we talk about.
All right, anybody with any questions from the neighbor? Go right. Give your name so we can write down.
My name is Peter Albee. At the 145 Chestnut Street.
And I used to own that piece of property there too. And they sold the house to John. And I kept that property. And I was in the process of putting this development together. And then I was working with John a little bit. And that was an open piece of property, about 7 acres roughly. And I paid $600 a year on this open land piece of property. And a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, again, roughly, I got a bill for $10,000 for that piece of property, and I was only paying $600. So I came down, I talked to the lady over here, and I said, "You made a mistake here." She looked at, "Oh, wow, that is, yeah." She looked all the paperwork over, and she said, "Oh, no. No mistake now. The state of Massachusetts had just passed a bill about 2 years ago for low-income housing. All the 20 million people coming over across the border, a lot of places are trying to find places to put them. So Massachusetts just passed this bill. If you have legal frontage on the road, and like, I think 10 acres, 11 acres, so I forget exactly the exact figure, you qualify to build low-income housing. That's 20 units. You know, 5 on this side, 5 here, 20 units. For low-income housing, and I qualified for it. You're gonna pay the $10,000 taxes. I paid it. And if I didn't keep going, there'll be another bill for $10,000. And John and I was working together on this. And John didn't have enough money, you know, when I had pieces my property into it at that time. So he only had 2 acres. So I ran right over and I sold that land to John. And he was like an acre shy, illegal for multi-family housing. So we didn't have to pay $10,000 taxes anymore on that piece of property. But the way it's set right now, if John and I want to work together, we could build 20-unit housing right on that piece of property, legal with the state.
Well, one of the things that happens when a state tries to zone a town,
Yes,
they have to give compensation. So they, this MBTA or whenever they have no right to tell a town how to zone, each town has its own responsibility, its own high school, its own roads to retain. So if they do something that impinges upon the town, they have to compensate. And in your case, if they could actually do that and put that in, that would definitely affect and impact our school system, our police, fire, emergency.
Yeah.
And the state couldn't do anything on that property without compensating the town of Upton for the impacts that it would incur.
I needed you when they paid me that $10,000 bill to explain that to the state. But they told me I had no option, I had to pay it because I could do it.
No, they can't do that. That's when the T goes in the harbor. They don't have the authority to do that.
They told me the wrong thing then. Okay, I'm sorry, I just want to bring that up.
All right, I appreciate the story. Anybody else from the neighborhood? All right, now,
Mr. Chair, I just want to make mention for the record, the board did receive comments from neighbors.
Yes, I read it.
By Mr. Luke Meyer, and the rest of the neighborhood was CC'd on that. Or a good portion of the neighbors, whoever was CC'd on that, I reached out to just confirm that if there was anybody on that who didn't agree with those comments they made, no, nobody reached out to me specifically, so.
well, one thing I'd like to, we need to break down the comments to who they go to. There's an engineering comment about conductivity, hydraulic conductivity. I don't think that's gonna go to me. That's gonna go to the our peer review, and you can add into the peer review any of the engineering questions. Now, the other question is about who is the responsible party when the property is sold by Mr. O'Connor. As far as the road is concerned, that would be the homeowners association until the town takes it over. It would be you or the homeowners station that would be responsible to.
That's all I understand, is correct.
And what does a town require a recorded covenant? Yes, we do. And that covenant is everything that we agree to, everything that needs to be done. covenant includes the schedule, includes all the waivers and all the things that,
And the O and M plan, the number 5, once the town takes the road, the town becomes responsible for
Yeah.
maintaining stormwater systems. Until the town accepts the road, it stays with property owners.
and who enforces inspection, well, the town does, it's a list of inspections on each subdivision has to notify the town, I believe it's 48 hours in advance, the responsible department for that. And then after that, it would be the town boards, the conservation board, health, and those town boards would take over. Once it's been built and the lots have been released. Any questions on that?
I would also say one of their requests was that the town get an independent peer review, which we've already received. As soon as we receive an application like this, we set it up for independent peer review.
And I believe that has been uploaded to the website, right, Lauren? Or if it hasn't, we'll get it up there soon.
Yeah.
And all of the easements are town maintained. So we are responsible if we take an easement for whatever, the town, the 50-foot right of way is one example. The catch basins, detention basins,
Infiltration, detention basins.
are all taken care of by the town. Once that's done. Any other questions that we need this? Again, we'll send a lot of engineering questions. We'll just send those and add those on to the list of questions from the neighbors.
Mr. Chair, so you want those engineering questions, do you want those to be addressed by the peer review or do you want,
Take a look at them.
Just have them
If they're proper, if they're more properly addressed by peer review than our own conservation or our own board of health, if we know the answer.
right, yeah.
One of the issues that's raised is access road slopes and the safety of South Street, and that would probably be usually when something like that comes up, as we'll say later, we get a letter from the chief of police to look at the safety aspects of where an intersection is. They'll look at sight lines and traffic patterns and make a recommendation there.
As far as streetlights, the planning board's responsibility is the design. It's the selectmen that pick the location. They give the articles. So there might only be one at the intersection. That's the only, it might go to, I recommend if there anything else with me.
How many houses?
Four?
There's four lots.
It's pre-existing.
One's pre-existing, it's part of the subdivision, there's one home there already, so there's 3 new lots. The existing lots being slightly reconfigured.
And that the existing one, he did mention a lot line issue on that one.
Excuse me?
Did he mention a lot line issue on the one that has a thing, existing single family garage? Setback. 30 feet, so.
There's a pre-existing non-conforming garage there already, it looks like, got it.
Yeah, if you're not changing the lot lines, you're not changing the setback with us.
Understood. There were like 3 or 4 more copies of that presentation plan. You're welcome to have it, whoever wants it, you know.
But continues for a month, it's next month at this time, that'd be giving up time to review everything and get back to us.
I would believe so.
All right, so let's continue this until,
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was just going to point out that the colorful map was provided to the board today. So again, if that is not already up on the website, it will be for access.
It is, and so is the peer review.
Okay.
so give me the 4th Tuesday in November.
Is that? It's probably.
What's you want to work November?
That's the 25th.
That's a month. Well, a month
No.
from today would be the 2nd Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, because the other would be Thanksgiving.
Second Tuesday in November is the 11th.
Veterans Day.
Both. You move it to.
You don't have
No, 11th is what?
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
And the,
And so your first meeting in November would typically scheduled would have been for the 11th, but apparently that is on Veterans Day. So the 4th Tuesday is November 25th. Obviously Tuesday is not typically when Thanksgiving is, but I'm forgetting when that is.
Thursday.
27th is Thanksgiving.
Okay,
I'm in the fourth, I would recommend the fourth Tuesday
Okay.
of November. Just, you said,
yes, 25th.
at 7:05. This meeting will be, the hearing will be continued to 7:05 on the 25th of November. Thank you very much. Let's reopen the regularly scheduled meetings. Sure. Next is we want to discuss our zoning amendment. Planning boards have to have a public hearing on any zoning changes. And this one is to allow microbreweries in town. New use to be allowed by special permit in certain zoning districts.
Mr. Chairman, so as was discussed up front, the public hearing was not adequately noticed for this date. An error on behalf of the Telegram Gazette. And so you cannot be making any motions or decisions tonight relative to it, but I think it's fine for you to have it to talk about the bylaw itself. Lauren's already followed up with Telegram Gazette to make sure that we are properly noticed for the 28th.
Now, the AR allowing it in the AR zone, has many feedback on it?
I've not received any feedback specifically that, unless obviously there's comments from the board.
On the board? Okay.
Does this specify anything about tap room or any public usage?
No,
Just
the intent of this bylaw is to identify, I'll say breweries for the time being, breweries in the manufacturing sense to be allowed in town. So it is not envisioning accessory tap rooms or the addition of a pub of some sort, or even to more the direct your question, public access. It's not envisioning a customer facing aspect of it. That is not necessarily prohibitive. It's not prohibiting that necessarily, but this bylaw is looking to identify the manufacturing component of brewing and manufacturing component of brewing only. And the decision by this board to then go with microbreweries as defined in the bylaw, as in the proposed bylaw, and as further defined in the appropriate ABCC regulations, CMR, whatever it is, but it's noted in the definition. There's additional requirements and regulations within ABCC's purview that limits to gallons per year, alcohol by volume, things of that nature. So the intent of this bylaw is to identify a brewing capacity for microbreweries as defined as a gallonage per year, which excludes, as was discussed previously, the Anheuser-Busch's of Merrimack, New Hampshire, that sort of, not that they don't come from business, I'm sure, but assuming it would be out of scale with this community.
How would they address retail contact? Special permit enough, because the building, but would that require selectmen?
I'm sorry, the draft here says, and which may include a tap room,
Oh, sorry.
may include other uses such as a restaurant.
For the draft of this.
Well, that was my question. Produced on the property. You need a selectmen's okay for that. Even though it says here you can do it, don't you still need any alcohol permit, doesn't that have to go through?
Yeah, it doesn't say which shall include, it says may include, which may include a tap room where beverages to be functioned may be sold. So, yeah, so they can still get a permit.
No, we don't get that.
No,
Yeah, apologies. That was, thank you.
I like it even.
Misguide, I was speaking more to the intention of the bylaw and for, why, it's before you.
Which is the earlier part of that, which is the 15,000 barrels.
So 15, I was just, through the chair, I was just upstairs at the select board discussing this article because they're going over the warrant tonight. The question came up of, which was a good question, what does 15,000 barrels look like? How much space does that occupy? I had reached out to Brian Goodman of Reshford and Sons, so to give you a sense of that, obviously that entire building over there is not all brewing capacity, right? He said he caps out at about 10,000. So it's a relatively small area. I know, Lauren, you just emailed me.
In his building?
Yeah,
And that's why he needs more space, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Because 15,000 is an average.
Hmm?
Or tip of 15,000.
No, the 10,000 isn't enough anymore for Rushford.
What's the 15,000 is enough?
That's, isn't that this, that was like the definition of.
That's the capacity of.
Yeah.
So, yep, it's still a third more than what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not actually barrels, it's a tank.
Yeah.
So, and that's, and another great clarifying question that came out of the conversation upstairs was, it's not all at one time, right? You know, we're not holding 15,000. That product is being moved.
They don't know if your family's coming.
It may be naive, what, it was the AR?
Agriculture residential zone.
Okay.
One of the things we thought is to make a farmland, or agricultural land more valuable in the sense of a microbrewery, why don't you grow it here? Why don't you use your land to grow products or the ingredients as much as you could? And why not? Good time of year to do it.
And this doesn't touch on distilleries, so
Correct.
those microbreweries
Right.
start to gas into distilling.
Yeah, through the chair, this specifically excludes distilleries. If only, it doesn't mention it specifically. I didn't want to bring up distilleries in the definition because I thought that would add confusion, but distilleries are excluded from this, if only through 204 CMR 3.02, which is the ABCC's regulations, which regulates alcohol by volume. So you couldn't distill any spirits.
Yeah.
What about,
And it says
percentage?
wine and hard cider are allowed.
What about doesn't percentage, you have a different thing as well?
If it's ABV, yeah. That's how it's.
Well, then I like this.
So, and currently,
And I don't drink.
to the chair, currently, it still does say prohibited in the AR district, because that was the draft that went through. We initially brought this conversation up for scheduling the public hearing. We said that there would be discussion about if there was a desire to change that or agreement amongst the board, changing that to a special permit or not.
Is there a motion to include AR in our Board of Appeals?
As a special permit, I'll move that, except can we do that outside of the public hearing? Because we're not in the public hearing tonight. We
I
should do
don't
it next
think
week.
so.
We should do it next meeting.
You're not supposed to make a motion during a public hearing either.
But we also haven't had the public hearing.
But when we have the public hearing, we would want to tell them what we
Yeah. Okay.
agreed to.
I have another, through
Yeah.
the chair, I have another question. So the warrant's probably gonna close this evening. Right?
Yeah.
It is closed already.
Yeah.
Can we modify this for town meeting?
Well, so I will follow up on that question. My assumption is I may be able to still make changes tomorrow, but I'll follow up with Dennis on that. If not, I will confirm, I think that's a simple change that can happen on town floor. I don't think,
But for the sake of making it easier, if we can make this motion tonight, then I move that we include by special permit in the A&R zone.
Again, for discussion on the motion. All those in favor of adding special permit to the AR zone, say aye. Aye.
and I think that's fine because it's your article.
Yeah.
And you just haven't voted to recommend it yet.
Right, and I hear what you're saying, but the sooner we say that this is what we want, then when we go to the public
I
hearing,
agree, I agree.
we discussed it.
You won, I agree with you, Tommy.
That was one for the year for me anyway.
For the chair, I have a question, not on, what was just discussed, but seeing this has not been advertised yet and we've just amended it, does the amended version need to be advertised or? Because we're advertising a public hearing, or we have already paid to advertise a public hearing for something where we changed. And I just didn't know if we have to change it for the advertisement.
Yeah, through the chair, I think we'll be able to accommodate that.
Yes.
No problem.
Good point, good catch.
It'll be posted in the clerk's office, the updated version. That version will be posted on the website, so folks who get the publication and follow up with it to see what is on for discussion, they will be able to see it.
Any other questions or? All right, I'm going to suspend the regularly scheduled meeting, open up the East Street Estates subdivision. They've asked for continuance till the fourth meeting, the fourth Tuesday in November as well, correct?
Yes, they want to continue to. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I forget what date you just said, but they want to continue to October 28th, which is your next meeting.
The next
Yeah.
meeting,
But what you are referencing is we got a extension of the constructive grants deadline to the end of
Okay.
November. So November 30th.
they're gonna have everything ready in 2 weeks. The engineer's gonna come back, seriously raised from his hospital bed.
Hopefully, yeah.
I don't wanna have another 2 weeks and then have to do it another 2 weeks and another 2 weeks. I had less patience when I was young.
I did. I don't know if you were copied or if I just had a conversation with Mr. Sullivan, who's the engineer. Or he's not the project engineer. He's the I think vice president of the company. But
Are they gonna be ready? We're gonna waste everybody's time.
I reminded him that this is exactly what happened last time when they were not the engineers.
Mhm.
It was a different engineering firm and they stalled out on these exact same issues and they never came back.
7:15,
Yeah, through the chair, just one thing to follow up, and I said this at a previous meeting, and I think Margaret brought it up today. My frustration is not with our calendar, because we're gonna be sitting here twice a month anyway. It's with the neighbors. And it's not the continuances, it's the last minute continuances. And if we're scheduling a meeting for another 2 weeks, we need to know so the neighbors can know. Like, at least 4 days or 5 days in advance. Because finding out the day of that, you go into a meeting, I mean, Barry, I think that's what you're here for.
The
You've
third,
been here-
it's 10.
Huh?
And
But
last
you-
summer,
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean, you've
quite
been
a-
regular at things and, that's what happened last time. And, last time this came up and residents showed up at all the meetings and finally they stopped showing up because you can't do that all the time. So I think that out of deference to the neighbors and to create a little bit of goodwill is that they need to cancel within the Friday, but like 2 working days before. I mean, we need to know on Friday at noon before we post the agenda, if they really, 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 truly are going to show up this time. We need to know.
Well, you have the option to penalize them and say, well, we're not gonna put you on the agenda for another 3 months.
No, we're required to put them on the agenda for a date and time certain,
Yeah.
and we have deadlines that we have to meet.
Yeah.
So
we have to
get them to agree to put the deadlines further.
Right.
We have 120 days to make a decision at the time they file it. And, or if you submit a preliminary, which I believe they did, it's 90 days. So we have 90 days and that's gonna be coming up pretty soon. We're gonna ask them for an extension at the time. I'm very comfortable not asking for an extension and voting on it and saying, come back when you're ready. I don't know if that's, if they build a subdivision according to the rules, it improves everybody's property value. It's not a bad thing if you follow the rules, building a subdivision. But we're not there yet. I'm not convinced that, we're there yet.
So do we have a motion to continue this public hearing to 7:15 at 10:28? Can I make that motion?
Stand that.
10:28. 2 weeks.
Yep.
Second for discussion. Discussion.
No,
All those in favor of setting the 28th as the next hearing? Say aye.
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 7:15, 10:28. I'm ready to vote.
yeah, I agree with you there.
And
That might need to be on, just on the agenda, it might need to appear as 7:30, because
Okay.
I think we have two other public hearings scheduled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
well, we put on South Street at 7:05.
Yeah, but we have others from.
We have,
Zoning amendment at 7:15.
15 West Main Street with the common driveway.
Still mad?
Was that?
They still mad?
Probably.
One of the problems on a common driveway is that you go into the subdivision control lots.
Mhm.
We're the only one that do some control lots. So yes, they're two frontage lots. But your driveways now are off another way.
Mhm.
You have to build a way. Your driveways aren't off the road. They're off something you have to build.
Mhm.
So you gotta come and check that. And that's, a lot of towns can't do that. It's like zoning board.
Through the chair, before you wrap up tonight, you do have two prospective associate members in the audience, I believe. And I apologize, I thought you were no longer interested because I thought you were appointed to the personnel board. Is that right?
We could be on more than one.
No, yeah, I know, I just,
Okay.
it occurred to me incorrectly, that's all. So sorry.
You're enough. How many do you want to be on? I'm Tom.
I had retired at the end of July,
Oh,
so,
excellent. This is what we do.
And so, and you're the other perspective, okay, so we.
Hi. Well,
I'm Eric, nice to meet you.
what do you think? What do you think?
Fun, fine. It's,
It's one of
it's
the,
town politics.
it's one of the three elected boards. You got the selectmen and the planning board, the board of health is still elected, correct?
Mhm.
So
That serves.
any, we make a decision, the appeals to us go to the Worcester court system. We have to go to the Worcester land court and appeal our decision. So it's not like you just go through the executive branch and some committee, it's an actual.
Mhm.
But so we try to be careful so we don't lose the lawsuit. So those are the.
I want to jinx it, we've been fairly good since I've been on board.
Yeah, we have, we have.
You said I don't want to jinx
It's
it,
a
we've
lot
been
of-
fairly good since I've been on board.
there you go, you opened it.
So,
Oh, and
so
there's some matters boiling
what do you both do? What are your interests? Why? Are you interested?
So I'm an AICP certified planner. I was last with Federal Highway
Okay.
as a community planner. I have 6-7 years planning experience in the transportation field. I worked at CMRPC for 5 years. I'm
We
familiar with,
won't hold that against.
they're great over there.
We deal with them.
I worked on the TID Transportation Improvement Program. When I lived in Ashland. I was publicly elected to the Housing Authority twice. I served on the Community Preservation Committee as well as the Conservation Restriction Working Group. I like livable communities. I like being able to walk places.
Mhm.
That's all.
I was on the board when CMRPC was invented. And I didn't think they'd be around 10 years. I'm surprised.
I know they're doing good work there.
We depend on them heavily.
What'd you do for retirement?
Well, I don't have those credentials. In the early 80s, I got my master's in social work, but it was mostly in social planning and, you know, we would study the impact of housing and traffic patterns and congestion in schools. But for the last 37 years, I've been a manager and a planner with New York Life Insurance.
We're,
Mhm.
planning boards are relegated to section 81 of Mass General 40 or 41.
40.
for you. It's just a section of invented creative planning boards, gave them all the things, what they're due. And it's mostly access and utilities. Were the main things because of, and safety. You gotta, we abide by zoning is the other thing. We can't waive zoning.
41.
So what we're gonna be looking at for the most part is access, utilities, and impacts. Now, that could be drainage, that could be.
Lighting,
Lighting.
traffic,
Sound.
Traffic, yeah.
So we try to look at the impacts of all of the applications. And we invite the neighbors in, everyone gets invited in by law. Anybody that's, an abutter. And we listen to them, we have review, we have peer review, we have a couple, we alternate. We get an engineering review, and everything we do goes out to the town fires, police, the, conservation board, and all get involved in what, when, what gets involved.
Through the chair, I have two questions, and I just was wondering from Mike. So before I ask my two questions, usually when candidates, some people apply to, be on a town board, they fill out a form. And I looked at our website, I couldn't find it in our meeting materials. Do we have those forms for the two candidates?
Mark, I think we do.
Yeah, I know I said.
We'll distribute it.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda tonight either, so, but they're both in attendance, so I just wanted to give the board an opportunity to say hello. There's no action being taken tonight. We'll need to either schedule a
so we have to
joint.
do a joint, yeah.
I think that's how you've done it in the past. I don't know if there's the ability to take two separate.
Well, it just depends if we're aggravated as a selectman.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
Tom,
it-
can I ask my two questions? Please?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious. To each of you, I'd just like to know how long you've lived in town and if you've ever been to an Upton town meeting.
Excellent questions.
I've been to a couple of town meetings, and we've lived here 8 years.
8 years, okay.
I've been here 5 years and I've been to 2 town meetings, so not as much as I probably should have thought.
That's a lot. And that didn't scare you.
Oh, it's
No, it was pretty interesting, took some votes.
interesting characters.
Always are.
Any other questions or any other comments? No, we haven't scared you away? Excellent. All right, I think we will adjourn the meeting at
Can I
7:42.
actually, I'd like to ask a question here. So, I'm assuming that, now that we've added the A&R as a location for use for the microbrewery use, the language does include that, which may include a tap room or a restaurant. And if, from an A&R perspective, I don't think that's an appropriate use. So I think we're gonna have to be able to explain why that won't happen.
It is a may, it doesn't say shall.
No, I understand that, but it does suggest it
So
could.
you'd have to connect the zoning board's ability to say no in that sentence.
You could consider. There's no rush on this, particular. So you could follow through with as it was originally presented and then decide to next town meeting or town meeting after call out. Because if the discussion was more around cideries,
Mhm.
as I recall.
Well, one of the ways we can refer to, we have a common driveway where it says generally discourage, or planning board should discourage this. Doesn't say we can't, it says we should discourage it. Maybe language like that, whereas it should be discouraged in the agricultural residential zone.
And I come back to the cidery idea that, if we can have a farm stand in A&R, and if you have someone that has an orchard and they decide they want to start making cider, then a small cidery wouldn't be a bad thing in an A&R. It's a real sort of agricultural tourism kind of thing.
already got people coming.
Yeah.
Is there other words like limited, or is there any other word that you could put into qualified, that it's not a guarantee?
I'm sure I could come up with something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think,
Like an amendment would be, you know, if they go in that direction.
well, it says may, so they would have to get a separate permit from the from the select board, right? If they're gonna have.
Yeah. Regardless, they would need, do we just call that an alcohol permit? I think for the select board, that regardless, they would need that through the select board. If you're serving any,
Yeah.
that needs to be approved.
And probably from the board of health
Also
too.
approve a separate restaurant license.
Yes, through a common victular license. Mhm.
Is this an expansion of Rushford or is this?
No, this is,
Satellite.
well, there is a
Oh, they
satellite,
want to create.
there is a satellite aspect to it, but then it's also sort of an option, you know, making it an option for others.
Yeah, it's not,
The impetus started with, they wanted to be able to do one, and we didn't have any zone for it.
Yeah,
That's
they wanted to
what started.
just a production site,
Okay,
not another,
to ship it
Yeah.
to where the
yeah,
tap room is.
Still good.
no stores, yeah.
Okay. Excellent meeting, thank you, meeting adjourned, 7:45.